Have you ever stared at your game library scrolling forever, but still not finding anything that truly hooks you? That feeling when you want a game that pulls you in so hard you forget the time? Well, today's video is exactly for you. These are addictive third-person games you need to play right now. If you're tired of boring, repetitive games, get ready because these ones will keep you playing for hours without even realizing it. Then, without wasting more time, let's get into the video. When you boot up Returnal for the first time, you need to understand that this game doesn't care about your feelings. But I think that's exactly what makes it incredible. The shooting and movement feel absolutely divine, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the tightest third-person shooters I've played in years. Every dodge, every dash, every bullet you fire just clicks in a way that makes you feel like a complete badass. What really hooked me was this addictive loop that just keeps pulling you back in. You'll snap back into your conscious mind and realize the entire screen is covered in striking, colorful patterns that want to kill you, and somehow you're floating through all that chaos effortlessly. It's like your brain enters this flow state where everything slows down and you're just in the zone hammering that trigger while projectiles whiz past your face. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, this game will beat you down repeatedly. You may find yourself saying no way as the game pushes another blitz of swirling projectiles onto your screen, but with well-timed dodges and jumps, you'll shock yourself with what you can pull off. Each weapon has different traits you unlock over time, and the variety of artifacts, parasites, and items that can combine together means every single run feels completely different. The whole experience is elevated by the atmosphere and presentation. The music blends new and retro vibes, and the 3D audio makes every moment intense and real. You're piecing together this mysterious story bit by bit, exploring a creepy house in first-person segments that give you chills. If you want a game that respects your intelligence, rewards mastery, and makes you feel like an absolute legend when you finally nail that perfect run, Returnal is exactly what you need to play. Watch Dogs 2 hands you this incredible playground in the San Francisco Bay Area, and just lets you loose with the coolest hacking toys you could imagine. The mission design is where this game really shines, because you can tackle objectives in so many different ways. You've got remote control drones that sneak through vents, you can hack cameras to scout entire buildings, and the freedom to choose between full stealth or guns blazing makes every mission feel like your own personal heist movie. What makes the gameplay so satisfying is how flexible everything feels. You're breaking into secured locations constantly, and there are always multiple entry points to discover. The stealth system is simple but effective, especially when you use your drone to slip past guards unnoticed. When things go wrong, your hacking tricks, like calling fake gang members or cops, create chaos and save the day, making it more fun than just shooting your way out. The Bay Area map itself is absolutely stunning to explore. It's packed with all the iconic landmarks you'd recognize, and driving around feels arcadey and fun even if it's a bit slippery. The whole place is dense with environmental puzzles and optional combat areas tucked into every corner. There's some decent satirical humor sprinkled throughout that pokes fun at tech culture and just cruising around this beautiful recreation of San Francisco while planning your next hack is genuinely enjoyable. The multiplayer modes add this whole extra layer of tension when they work properly. You'll be minding your own business when suddenly another player invades to steal your data, and it becomes this intense cat and mouse game where you're scanning everyone around you trying to find the hacker. Watch Dogs 2 gives you tools and freedom that make you feel like a genius hacker pulling off the impossible, and that sandbox experience keeps you coming back for more creative ways to cause mayhem. Control drops you into the weirdest government building you've ever seen, and I mean that in the best possible way. This place, the oldest house, looks like boring concrete office space at first, but then the rooms start shifting and rebuilding themselves right in front of you like someone's playing with Lego bricks. The atmosphere is so thick you could cut it with a knife, and every corner has something bizarre to discover. The psychic powers you get are everything I dreamed about as a kid watching X-Men. You just snap a chunk of concrete or a table to your side and hurl it at enemies with this incredibly satisfying impact. The destructible environments make every fight feel chaotic and awesome, because you're constantly ripping the place apart while dodging attacks. Your shape-shifting gun adds even more variety, and the combat pushes you to keep moving and finding cover, because standing still gets you killed fast. Every character you meet feels unique and perfectly placed in this weird secret government facility. The writing is sharp and engaging, and you'll actually want to read the collectibles because they add so much flavor to the world. The oldest house is divided into different sectors, and each one feels distinct even though it's all concrete and corporate vibes. Watching how these areas transform and adapt to the paranormal forces at work never stops being impressive. The exploration is what kept me going even after finishing the main story. There are secrets tucked into every hallway and office space, and the world is so well thought out that you genuinely want to understand how everything connects. Combat can get repetitive sometimes, and the ending feels a little weak, but the fascinating journey through the supernatural office space is absolutely worth it. Control that feeling of discovering something genuinely strange and fascinating. Shadow of Mordor makes you feel like an absolute beast while still keeping that edge-of-your-seat tension where defeat actually matters. The combat flows like butter. You're diving into fights with dozens of orcs and just destroying them with these smooth, brutal animations that make you feel like Legolas tearing through enemies. Sword fighting is highly responsive, and with stealth takedowns and time-slowing bow shots, every encounter plays out like your own action movie. What makes this game truly special is the nemesis system working in the background. Every orc captain you fight has randomized strengths and weaknesses. And here's the genius part: if some random grunt kills you, he gets promoted, levels up, earns new abilities and cooler armor, then taunts you about it when you meet again. You're not just grinding through nameless enemies, you're building actual rivalries with orcs who remember you and grow stronger from your failures. The power progression is incredibly satisfying because early on, you can easily get overwhelmed if orcs raise the alarm in their strongholds. But as you level up and unlock skills, you become powerful chaining combos and defeating multiple enemies. Then in the second act, you unlock mind control and everything changes. Suddenly you're turning orc captains against each other, building your own army, and watching your minions climb the ranks to become war chiefs themselves. What kept me playing for 25 hours wasn't just the main story, but the unpredictable battles with randomized captains and war chiefs. You can interrupt their internal power struggles, crash their feasts and hunts, and manipulate the entire orc hierarchy to your advantage. The open world is gorgeous and packed with Lord of the Rings lore, but it's these memorable rivalries and the constant push-pull of dominating or being dominated that make Shadow of Mordor stand out from every other action game. Sleeping Dogs is one of those games that surprised everyone when it came out, and honestly, it still holds up really well. What makes it special is how it balances being tons of fun to play while also delivering this genuinely fascinating story with memorable characters. You're an undercover Hong Kong cop infiltrating the dangerous underworld, and the voice acting is exceptional. The game's use of both English and Cantonese voice acting adds a layer of authenticity that pulls you into the world. The recreation of Hong Kong itself is fantastic. You've got these maze-like streets packed with people, tons of ambient noise and chatter that makes the city feel alive and real. It's not just window dressing either. You can feel the culture and energy of the place as you're navigating through crowds and neon-lit streets. The world feels dense and lived in, and it's one of those rare games where the setting becomes a character in itself that you want to explore and get lost in. The gameplay loop keeps you hooked because there's just so much to do. You've got this lengthy campaign that keeps you invested, but then there's also a massive amount of side content that's actually worth your time. Combat feels satisfying, driving is smooth, and the activities scattered around the city tempt you to explore off the main path. It's a great balance where the story drives you forward, but you're encouraged to take your time and enjoy everything the game offers. What really stood out to me was how the game never feels like just another open-world clone. The undercover cop angle gives everything you do extra weight, and the characters around you feel real and well-developed thanks to great writing and voice work. Sure, the camera can be problematic in certain spots, but that's a small complaint when the overall package is this strong. Sleeping Dogs nails that combination of compelling narrative and addictive gameplay that keeps you coming back. If you've come this far in the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. It's a huge motivation for me to keep creating more amazing and high-quality content just like this. Your support helps me keep going and brings fresh ideas to life. So subscribing is not just a click, it's encouragement for more awesome videos. Thank you for being here and for supporting the channel. Horizon Zero Dawn throws you into this world where robotic dinosaurs roam the earth, and from the first moment you see these machines, you're hooked trying to figure out what the hell happened. The mystery at the core of this game kept me guessing for 40+ hours, and the best part is how the combat makes you feel like an absolute legend while still keeping you on your toes. Every major fight could easily end with you getting stomped if you're not careful, and that tension never goes away. The machine combat is where this game truly shines. You've got 26 different types of mechanical beasts, and each one has specific weak points that change how the fight plays out. Taking out a Bellowback's cargo sack or a Glinthawk's free sack leads to intense moments where you must adapt. There's no hand-holding, so learning to defeat each machine feels rewarding. You're rolling, constantly crafting ammo on the fly, and using concentration to slow time for those perfect shots with your bow. The world itself is stunning and packed with things to discover. From snowy mountains to lush forests and deserts, each area looks stunning, even at 30 FPS. Between main missions, you're clearing bandit camps, hunting machines in dedicated grounds, and digging through ancient bunkers for clues about the old world. It's all incredibly compulsive because of the XP and loot rewards, plus the world is just beautiful and terrifying enough that exploring feels rewarding on its own. What made me truly care was Aloy and the story's deep themes. She's got this dry wit and big-hearted heroism that makes you care about her personal journey, and the central mystery weaves current-day tribal politics with solving the secrets of the past. The main missions cleverly bounce between chasing ghosts in dark technology bunkers and dealing with present-day tribal conflicts. The ultimate reveal is smart and genuinely surprising, making the whole 40-hour journey absolutely worth it. The Resident Evil 4 Remake grabbed me by the throat from the moment I hit start and didn't let go for 16 straight hours of pure tension and exhilaration. This isn't just a fresh coat of paint on a classic, it's a complete rebuild that makes the original feel ridiculously outdated. The controls are finally modernized with twin-stick movement, so you can backpedal while keeping your gun trained on advancing enemies, or sidestep crossbow bolts without breaking your aim. What makes the shooting so incredible is the area-specific damage system that lets you blow out kneecaps to set up brutal melee finishers or land some of the grisliest headshots you've ever seen. You can use your knife to parry attacks or silently take down enemies, but it wears down and breaks if overused. Enemies move erratically and overwhelm you in numbers, so you're constantly making split-second decisions about who to prioritize while a crowd of parasite-infected villagers closes in on you. The pacing is relentlessly intense as you shuttle through this roller coaster of spectacular action scenes. You're defending boarded-up cabins against crazed hordes assaulting a heavily fortified castle, explosive minecart chases, and fighting towering monsters that look absolutely incredible on Capcom's Re-engine. The original's weak final third has been completely tightened up with an improved boss fight that pushes your skills to the limit. The escort sections with Ashley are way less frustrating. The lake area is now fully explorable by boat, with hidden horrors tucked in caves and cabins, and new side quests give you reasons to deviate from the main path for valuable rewards. You can use the environment tactically by baiting chainsaw maniacs into their own allies or setting fire to livestock to scorch everyone nearby. This remake takes a legendary game and rebuilds it to the full limits of its potential. Arkham City makes you feel like Batman in a way that no other game has ever pulled off. They turned a huge part of Gotham into a prison for criminals, and you get to explore it with Batman's full set of gadgets. The combat system is instantly satisfying with that one-button rhythm of strikes and counters, but it gets deep fast with multipliers, combos, and gadgets that let you take down multiple thugs at once before backclawing another enemy into a clothesline. The traversal is what really sells the Batman fantasy though. You glide across rooftops, dive bomb to gain speed, and every single one of Batman's gadgets has a hotkey so you can seamlessly flow between them mid-combat. New tools like the remote electrical charge let you turn enemies against each other, while returning favorites like exploding gel add tactical depth. The huge map has tons of buildings to explore with a Metroidvania-style progression that keeps you coming back with new gadgets. What kept me hooked the most were the 400 Riddler challenges sprinkled across the city. You're constantly doubling back to places you've already explored, using new tools to solve environmental puzzles and find hidden trophies. It's incredibly addictive hunting down every single one of these tiny green collectibles. On top of that, there are 24 challenge maps with stealth and combat scenes, each with 3 medals to earn, and campaigns that string multiple maps together with difficulty modifiers. The story hits some incredible highs with a jaw-dropping finale and moments that genuinely surprised me, even if the main narrative gets stretched thin with all the villain cameos. Mark Hamill steals every scene as the Joker, and Kevin Conroy delivers a perfectly grounded Batman. The voice acting is stellar, and the tense conspiracy led by Hugo Strange keeps you fully engaged. Arkham City truly captures what it means to be the Dark Knight in his ultimate world. God of War hits you with a non-stop mix of emotions and intense action for about 25 hours. What blew me away is how they transformed Kratos from a flat, one-note rage monster into this internally conflicted father with real depth. The relationship between him and his son Atreus is the heart of everything, and it's framed by one continuous camera shot that never cuts away from start to finish. This style makes you feel extremely close to Kratos during the most emotional moments. The combat is absolutely thrilling and carries forward those blood-soaked traditions the series is known for. The Leviathan Axe is one of the best weapons I've used in any game. Throwing it and recalling it back to your hand feels so damn satisfying even hundreds of throws later, thanks to perfect sound design and controller vibration. You combine axe throws with Atreus' arrow attacks, parry with your shield, and use special moves that turn fights into a bloody dance of perfect timing. What makes the experience even richer is how the world unfolds. It's not fully open, but it smartly guides you through Norse locations while hiding optional areas you can completely miss if you don't explore. The environments are gorgeous and packed with mythology to discover, and some areas actually reshape themselves throughout the story, making repeat visits valuable instead of tedious. I spent an extra 10 to 15 hours hunting down lore and enjoying the world after finishing the main story. The father-son dynamic is woven brilliantly into every aspect of the game. Atreus isn't a simple helper, he's a valuable partner who grows alongside Kratos as they both deal with their loss. The performances from Christopher Judge and Sunny Suljic are fantastic, and watching this relationship develop grounds the entire fantastical adventure in very human emotions. It's rare to find a game where every part complements the others so perfectly to create something truly memorable and stirring. Ghost of Tsushima is absolutely gorgeous from the first moment you step into feudal Japan, and the blade combat is some of the best I've experienced in any action game. The stance system is what makes fights stay interesting for the entire 40 to 50 hour campaign. Each stance counters different weapon types, and switching mid-combat creates this fast, chaotic tactical experience that feels true to the fantasy of being an outnumbered but hyper-skilled samurai. What really impressed me is how progression works without traditional leveling systems. Instead of numbers or levels, you get better by learning new techniques. You'll never wander into an area and get one shot by some over-leveled archer, or spend 5 minutes hacking at a bullet sponge. The difficulty always feels appropriate and fair, and when you bump it up to hard mode, enemies get more aggressive, but your sword stays just as lethal. The open world itself is stunning, with some of the best design I've seen in the genre. Instead of cluttering your screen with UI markers, the game uses subtle cues like wind direction to guide you toward points of interest. The side quests are actually varied and thoughtful. Mythic Tales reward you with epic gear through animated cutscenes. Character-specific quests span the entire campaign with their own story arcs, and every collectible has a fun mini-challenge tied to it. The standoff mechanic is genius because it makes going loud just as rewarding as stealth. You can trigger these classic samurai showdowns at the start of most fights, waiting for your enemy to move before striking them down in one hit. By late game, I was chaining 5 kills at the start of every encounter, and it perfectly captures that samurai cinema feel. Stealth and enemy AI can feel simple once you're spotted, but the thrilling swordplay lets you charge into battle without hesitation. And that's it for today's video. These were some of the most addictive third-person games you can jump into right now. If you've played any of these, tell me which one kept you hooked the most, and if you have more recommendations, drop them in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really motivates me to bring you more amazing gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.